Hello, welcome to this week's Devil the Detail podcast. I'm Rob Parkinson, and we're here talking all things Salford Red Devils. Joining the show this week, he missed last week, but he's here this week. It's Paul Parkin. How's your week been, Parky?
Yeah, up and down, not bad. Just enjoying the weather more than anything. Looking forward to the game this weekend. Obviously, it was a bit of a downer last week. I know there's plenty of rugby on, but it's not the same when the Reds aren't playing, is it? But yeah, no, just been fairly busy around the house again, cleaning up after builders and that sort of thing. But it's been a good week. Like I say, plenty of rugby at the weekend we've got to watch, and just the sunshine's just making me happy more than anything.
Is Gowdy's church nearly finished?
No, about another 250 years left, I think, at the moment. No, I'm sat here with plastered walls and lots of sawdust.
Yeah. Talking about DIY, someone came around and fixed my hole in my ceiling, my kitchen ceiling, remember the flood. So guy came around yesterday to paste it. It's going around tomorrow to paint it, so I'll have a complete kitchen, which is good news.
That's took longer than this house.
That's true. Your house wasn't even a house then when that started. Also joining us on the show, we've got Salford Red Devils ladies assistant coach Matt Drinkwater. Hi, Matt. Welcome to the show. Looking forward to this.
Yeah, I'm doing. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Good. Obviously, sort of regular listener to the show. Enjoy it, and it's great to be in the seat now talking all things Salford Red Devils.
Yeah, to do. I've got a lot to follow with Dawn and Chris Bates. You know what I mean? But make sure to speak well, because they did when they came on.
Yeah. So you're all great. You're all great talkers, and there's lots of obviously humour going on behind the scenes as well. It's great stuff, and obviously like with the ladies sort of winning as well. It's really good time. Yeah,
it's exciting times at the moment. Everything's going great. We're exceeding all our expectations, to be fair. So really enjoying it.
Yeah. So what we'll do, we'll look back at the ladies' victory last week. We'll look at the PDRL team's festival on Alton. We'll preview the game against Wakefield on Sunday and look at all the big news coming out of the club this week. So we'll start with the ladies' win at Hull. So Salford Red Devils ladies were victorious at Hull. They won 36 points to 6. Matt, talk us through it.
Yeah, so obviously long trip up to Hull. Never nice, but I'll have to credit the club and Fish and Marcel and Sam. They don't half look after us, and we get a nice coach going up there. So it's always a lot more pleasurable when you're in a lot of comfort. So yeah, we got up there, got out, warmed up, started the game. Couldn't have started any worse for us. We lost Lucy in minute 1. It's pretty evident straight away she was gone for the game. But we rejigged the side about, moved a few people around, and just cracked on. And luckily we managed to keep the momentum going. And we got a good first half scored on them, and it all went well from there.
Yeah, 2 tries from the captain Louise Fellingham. What a leader she is. Obviously took the game by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah, obviously she's. What really did it for us is that first change we had to make in that first minute. We put Brogan Edwards on, and we put her on at 9 and moved Taz to 13. So we had effectively 2 like really electrical, because on the pitch. And to be fair, I felt a bit sorry for Hull because they just couldn't cope. We were making sure that we were getting on the front foot and landing on our fronts in attack, and they were just absolutely ripping them to bits. And obviously for Demi and Lobby, then on the back of that, they were getting good ball all the time, good ball, fast ball, and yeah, it was helping them get on the front foot.
Yeah, obviously, like you say, with your big sort of go forwards as well, it makes a difference when you've got 2 sort of hookers making that them extra meters and then backpedaling.
Yeah, I mean, up front, Serena was excellent going forward. Darcy Price, and Meg again. They keep moving week on week, and Kaylee's the other second row, the other edge. She's just like consistent every single week. She never lets us down. We've got a really good forward pack, and then they're coming off the bench as well. And nothing, no changes weaken us at the moment, and it's just great to see.
Yeah, obviously you mentioned sort of Lucy McKeown limping off, injured. Obviously, semi-final in a couple of weeks' time. Do we need to get Yura Geller on the job to try and get her fit?
Yeah, it could be a case of that. Yeah, we're going to try and wrap her I think, for the next couple of weeks. Luckily, after this week, we get a free week. So I think it's, although nothing's guaranteed at the moment, I think it's probably likely she'll sit out this week's game, free week next week, and then we'll see if we can get a fit for that semi, because obviously that's huge for the club.
Yeah, obviously, Parky, we've been following it from afar, and obviously the ladies, doing fantastic stuff. Obviously, approaching the semi-final, top of the table, you're doing the club proud.
We say it every week, don't we? I mean, it's been the good news story of the year amongst many at the club. They've been phenomenal. I remember from the first game, the Swinton game onwards, it just struck me how professional they were and how this wasn't a game. This wasn't a bit of fun for people. This wasn't a gimmick. This is real. And these girls, I mean, going up to Hull and destroying them. I mean, I know we had it with OKR the other week, and you dream of things like I dream of that for the first team. What an effort that is. I mean, because they live and breathe rugby league up there, don't they? It's their bread and butter. But no, it's been brilliant this year. And interesting you say there about obviously losing Lucy in the first minute the other week against was it Alton? We had a few problems in the same way, didn't we? Lost players early on, and that probably cost us the game a little bit because we had players with injuries and things like that. You don't think of that when you see the result, do you? So that's an extra effort when you've got to change your team back so early to key players and key positions. I mean, we know what Lucy does with scoring tries for fun, but actually, playing fullback. If you're not a fullback or you don't train or play there, it can be an awkward position to play. You've got to stay switched on, and it's easy to let that drift. So to bring on an extra player and move players about and still get a result like that, I mean, that's magnificent. And sitting top of the table, I mean, I have a look. It does make me smile. I don't know if you noticed. I posted it the other day on social media. It's just great to see a Salford team at the top for a change. And these girls, they've done us so proud no matter what this season. But I know there's more. You can tell they seem to be getting better. And we said at the start of the year, Rob, that this year was, we've got points to prove. It's competitive and everything, but it's when we make that next step. And this year, I think, is going to give us a great grounding to get to know each other, to get to know the patterns of play, and to get used to that physicality of playing every week, because that's a different matter. You play one, you can have a week off, whatever, and mixing it with your own life at home with the work, because they're all part-time players. And when we do go up, which I'm pretty confident that will happen, we'll be better placed. And then who knows? I mean, I said it at that fans meeting a few months back at the Dog and Partridge that in 2 years' time we'd be competitive Super League team from nowhere, from a team that didn't exist a few months ago. So the effort has been incredible, and they really are a credit to us, but to themselves for the effort and the hard work they put in.
Thoughts and feelings on all that, Matt?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think the girls had argue with me about this one in January when we had our first, because the first 2.5 months we were just training in the gym inside. Might have had the odd session on a 4G at Eccles, but for the most part we were in a gym, and then we got them first Saturday of the new year. We got them on a pitch and we actually ran them in shape as a 13, and I don't think any of them would argue with me to say it wasn't good. They were 13 players that we would put 13 on at that point, and we're chopping and changing and that. And they didn't know each other. They weren't sure how each other was going to play, and they didn't read each other. And you know what? We just stripped it back to basics, and within 3 weeks, we'd got them then knowing what areas of the pitch to start off in, and to find the sticks to go back one way, or to find an edge to come back the whole width of the pitch. And do you know what? They cracked it, and it was great. We scored a try against Swinton in that first friendly, where they came from one side. They came from the right. They took it to the sticks, and then they shot back right, and they finished with a miss pass to the winger scoring in the corner. To me, that was just like, yeah, that's great. This is what we've worked for months. And as you say, they're embracing it, and they're getting better every week, and it's fantastic to see.
Yeah, you talk about sort of development and how far the ladies have come so far. Obviously, with you chasing sort of promotion, you've got the cup final, you've got this possible nines thing going on at the AJ Bell Stadium. How far do you think this team can go in the next 12 months?
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We've got a couple. I know we've still got Dewsbury more to get through yet.
Yeah.
But you know, the girls have set themselves short-term aims, and they had a meeting the other week, and this is the kind of thing they'll do. They'll sit and talk about where they want to be and where they're going, and they had a short-term aim to win the next. I think it was 3 or 4 games leading into the semi-final. I think it was 3 games, and they've won 2 now. That was after Alton. And, you know, then they're going, right, so we get through the league and then we concentrate on the semi and then we get through that and then we go again. You know, and they're setting themselves up little short-term aims all the time. And it's fantastic. They're not getting ahead of themselves, you know, and obviously we all know what the long-term aim is. We want to be in that playoff final at the end of the year and we want promotion into Super League. And the fact that we're even talking about it in year 1 is unbelievable, but it's not even a pipe dream. It's realistic now. And we've put in that position and it's fantastic.
I think, Parker, we found the guy that calms everyone down. We'll get excited. He can calm everyone down.
Yeah, we do get us a little bit ahead, don't we, at times? I think it's just chasing that glory, isn't it? We don't get enough of it. So when we see it, it's like rabbit in headlights. No, I think it's the best way to be. It's easy to get distracted for them, knowing that the semi's coming up and you could probably take your mind off the league and think, I don't want to get injured this week because I don't want to miss the semi. It's a bit, I don't see that in these girls at all. I don't see that attitude. I think they just want to play every single week, but with a professional kind of manner. I mean, that the other week when we were talking about the extra training they do on a Monday or whatever, and they don't have to do that. These are just a part-time game from they've got lives, they've got jobs, they've probably got kids. Some of them, they don't need to be there, but they want to be, and that's different. That's just shows that hunger that they've got. And I just hope that the semi-final and fingers crossed any potential final after that are on dates where we can actually go, and it doesn't clash with the first team game or some other ridiculous nonsense the RFL or Super League can come up with, and we all get to go, because I think they've got quite the following, secretly. I think there's a big sort of underground movement going on among the fans, and they want to go. They want to go and see it. It's just clashing at the moment, or it's a bad time, or whatever it is. But it'd be great to get us, like this weekend, get us at the AJ Bell or someone like that, and just get a crowd behind us, even an away day. But get to a final. It's something to dream of for us as fans, isn't it? But hopefully the girls, aren't looking that far ahead.
I think how many finals I've seen Salford in is probably about 5, I think. So to get one for the ladies, that'd be 6. So we'd have to go.
Yeah. There's not many. You got me thinking now, but I can't do the 2.
Well, you're 20 years older than me, so you've got like Lancashire Cup finals and all that.
A few more there will be, but any final is is fantastic. And the thing that's so thrilling is, like we say, they've been around for a few months. You know what I mean? We've got a first team that's nearly 150 years old. Get many finals, so it shows the effort to me. And these teams that playing against are established. These aren't all new teams. There's some teams there that have been around for a while and got know how it all works. So no, I'm just full of praise for the girls, and obviously like with Matt and all the other coaching staff that we've knitted it together and got that bond. And then you got Matt mentioned about what goes on behind the scenes with Marcel and people like that, putting facilities together to make their day easier if you possibly can for a game of rugby league. And it's good to see it. The club are all working together on it and making it happen.
Matt, have you been in this situation before as a coach that it's kind of a blank canvas and you've not had sort of history on having to fight against history as a coach?
Yeah, sort of. I mean, the head coaching job I had before I came to Salford was with a team called North Wales Origin, and I took over them it was only in year 2. Right. Of the whole concept. So in Wales, they play like basically like a 3-way Origin series, which leads to selection for the Dragonhearts, and it's East, West, and North.
Okay.
So that was only in year 2. I was like assistant coach in year 1 and head coach in year 2, and then COVID it, and we never really did it again. But yeah, that was a bit of a blank canvas as well, and you know, it's hard but it's exciting at the same time because you know it's almost less pressure. You've got nothing to compare against, so you can just go for it. You know what I mean? And that's what we encourage with the women's team. We don't, you know, we've got structure. Don't get me wrong, we've got structure, but we encourage them to have a go. If they see it, play it. Don't be rugby league robots. Play the game. Like for example, on Sunday we scored and the referee said to me as I was up with the kicking tee, 30 seconds left after the kick. So we got back and we just said, just set 2 drives in, do something. You know what I mean? And Lobby kicked it into the corner. Lauren Ellison picked it up, scored, but unfortunately she put a foot in touch. But we didn't care because they tried it and it very, very nearly, like it was 2 inches off coming off. You know what I mean? And that's just inventive play. And you can't, you know, you can encourage it. You can't coach it. You can encourage it. That's all. And they do it themselves. And that's another thing that's exciting, you know.
And I suppose when the pressure's on, if you're like free flowing and have that ability to be able to shift it, you will do it under pressure. And if you don't do it and you're not used to doing it, then when it needs to be done, you might get a bit tight and the ball goes to ground or it goes behind slightly and it doesn't work. So playing that way kind of helps when the pressure is on later on in the season. Yeah,
definitely. And we don't want them to play with fear either. We don't want them to be scared of doing it. You know what I mean? And if something goes wrong, we just clap it up, say, never mind, we go again. You know, for example, in the Stanley game, we did a kick from a scrum, first tackle off our own line. We almost regathered. It was only a loose carry that, you know, they never got to it. We got to it. It was a loose carry and it never came off. But I tell you what, they never dropped the fullback in again. So the scrum after that, we were going against one less defender in a scrum line. They never put that fullback back in the line. They were always thinking about it then, you know, and it's great when you can get teams a bit paranoid like that. So, you know, long may it continue for us.
So much technical stuff going on, Parker, that us in the crowd don't really notice.
Yeah, well, you do, and when you sit and analyse a game, I mean, I've noticed, you know, despite playing the game for God knows how many years, now I sit in the West Stand, and I'm lower down. I have a different angle to what I did at the South Stand, and I see a totally different game. And you do spot little things. I mean, what Matt's saying there about, you know, that sort of playing off the cuff, but with control as well. It's what Saints have done for years. Saints first team. They think, you know, everyone says, oh, they play this champagne rugby. They do. It's on the back of what they do, you know, in training every day. And then you learn you sort of how to communicate with each other, and you all know what's happening. But you've got the basics right. And that's what the girls are obviously doing. They know, you know, I mean, obviously when you're 30 odd points in charge of a game, you can try things, but they actually know what each other, you know, they obviously know what everyone's going to do. But they've earned the right to get to that point. And that's it. That's exactly what, you know, Saints do. And I know it's not quite worked for us, but another first team, we've tried it this year, haven't we? I know Paul Rowley wants us to play heads up rugby quite a bit, but we don't always earn the right to play it. And then that's when things go wrong. But no, the girls have they've just taken everything on board, clearly. But they're learning every single game, something new, something. And it's just exciting to see, isn't it?
Yeah, Matt, we talk about this heads up rugby. Obviously you got your strike players out wide. You got Steph Gray, you got Lucy McKeown, got Lauren Ellison, Alex Simpson. But it's your forwards that make the meters. The forwards that build the platform to give the space to the ladies to make things happen.
Yeah, exactly. You know, the middles they're the start of everything. You know, if they're not powering forward, if they're not winning contact, if they're not landing on the fronts, our halfbacks can't go on the back of that, and then they can't strike players that, you know, like you're quite right to mention, you know, and that all comes down to the half they put in, and they're developing, like I've already mentioned. Darcy started the season at centre in that friendly, and what we probably just thought, you're probably better off suited more in middle, and she's thrived, you know, and we struggled the last few weeks without Vanessa. When Vanessa was out injured, she's come back last couple of games now, and she's, you know, slowly integrating herself into the games, and you can tell she's back. You know, she controls the middle of the pitch. She went to centre for us the other day and did an absolutely excellent job. You know what I mean? And these are the kind of players you want. These solid players who are just not going to let you down ever, and they're going to keep going forward, and they're going to keep working for you. and it's putting the halfbacks on the front foot, and it's really good, you know. And right players can't strike without being fed, you know what I mean? And they are being, and they're getting the good ball, and they're getting the ball in the right places, and it's working for us.
Yeah, and obviously you got your halfbacks, Demi Jones, Louise Fellingham, you know, making sort of magic happen. And obviously they've got options sort of inside and outside. If you're an opposition, you know, you've got problems, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, Demi's always been like a really skillful, you know, that old style halfback, you know what I mean? Take ball to line, little balls, not a lot. Lobby's growing into the position, and she's growing every week. And she's getting really now is a running game, and she's terrifying defenses. She's running at them. They don't know whether she's going to go herself. They don't know whether she's going to chuck a little short ball in, whether she's going to miss someone out and put a longer ball in. And she's got that in a locker now, and she's doing these passes and she's doing these runs. And I'd say the last 2 games she's played, you know, she's excelling all the time. They've been the best game she's played in a Salford shirt. And then she did that against Stanley, and then she steps it up again against Hull, and she's getting better every week, and it's just great to see.
Yeah, 2 weeks till the semi-final. You got Juju Moore in a couple of weeks in the semi. Have you started obviously talking about the semi-final, or are you just taking it a game at a time?
Taking it a game at a time. We don't even want to talk about the semi at the moment. We're witness first. You know, we've got, I think it's 6 or 7 players came to us who were previous witness players. So their minds are definitely on this week's game. So I think there's a lot of players looking forward to Sunday yet. So there's a long way to go before we even start thinking about Dewsbury yet.
Yeah, it's very tight at the top. 1 and 2 Lunas, Alton, Radettes, sort of competing with us for that top spot. Who do you think's the sort of the most dangerous team to us?
Well, the obvious one's Alton, isn't it? Because they beat us,
right?
You know, so there's your obvious one straight away, and they're 4 from 4. They're unbeaten at the moment, so we need teams to start taking points off each other. Warrington can be a bit of an unknown quantity because they're allowed to take players, the Super League players, and they're technically a reserve side, and they're allowed to take, I think it's 5 players every week. So you know what, they turn up really strong some days. But they turned up strong. They had the 5 super players when we played them at their place, and we came out on top. So, you know, we fear no one. And when Alton come again, you know, we know what to expect this time. And we went into that game, no excuses. We had to put the players out, but we were missing players that we need on the pitch, and they weren't there, unfortunately, for whatever circumstance. But you've got to play what you've got, and we didn't play it that day, and they are a strong side. But when they come again, you know, we know what to expect now, and we'll go again, and we don't fear anyone.
Yeah, I think Alton and Warrington have got to play each other twice in the next sort of 2 weeks, so that might sort of give us take a couple of points for each other, gives us an opportunity to hit the front. Yeah,
put one off each other. You know, I'll take an home win off both of them. That'll be it.
That's what we're hoping for. This week, Widnes. Like you said, a week before the semi-final, I suppose places to be, have to be sort of decided for that semi-final. I'm sure the ladies will want to sort of put in a good performance and try and get that shirt for the semi.
Exactly, that's it. Now you're, every week you're doing it anyway. Every week, you're only borrowing a shirt. Shirt's never yours. You're only ever borrowing it every week, and at the end of the game, you leave it at the door, and you hope someone gives it you back next. So obviously that's going to be the case for the semi-final as well. So yeah, everyone's at shop window semi-final. So and they all want it, and they're all going to want to be involved. So yeah, it's a good thing. The competition's great because if they've got to raise their game, if every one of them raises the game Sunday, then fantastic. We should put up a good performance.
Matt's talking here, Parky. All the hairs are standing up back in my neck here.
Yeah, it's the right things, definitely. It's like you say, this week especially with the girls that are ex-Widnes, but the fact that you're playing for a spot in the semi-final, I know you don't want to get your mind onto it, but you don't want an off game this week, because if there's somebody ready to step in, then you could have lost it. It's it should be good. I don't know much about the Widnes team. I don't remember reading anything about them at any point. Have they been going on? Have they been any good this year?
They've won 2, But I think the two they've won against the teams below them in the league,
Right.
no mean feat. You know, you've still got to win beat what's in front. But yeah, so I think they've been a bit of a team in transition because obviously 6 or 7 of them play for us. So you know they've had to sort of regroup and put some players together. So you know in that way, barring a couple of the more well-known players, are going to be a bit of an unknown entity to us, to be fair. So we're going to be going into it blind, really.
I suppose is the plan to kind of get cool heads in this situation. You don't want it all turning a bit sort of sour.
Nah, no one's going to go like that.
No.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Obviously, you don't want to sort of get sort of caught up in that emotion park, do you? Really, you know, playing against your former side and you know trying to settle scores.
Well, yeah, there is that, and there is the fact that you try too hard sometimes, and that I think is the worst thing that a player can do is try to do things that you do every day. You know, because you want to prove a point. You're clearly good enough if you're playing. It's that simple. You know what I mean? Especially at the moment for our girls who are playing at the team that's the top of the league. So you must be good. It's they haven't got a point to prove to anyone. You want to get a win over your old club, of course you do. But just like you said then, Rob, having a level head and just staying calm, just getting the job done. You can celebrate it afterwards. You can send messages to your mates that you used to play with or whatever, and take the mick. But when the game's on, you got to just let all that go out the window and just get on with it and get the game won and stay top of the league and build for the semi.
It's going to be exciting times, and obviously we'll following it on the podcast, and hopefully League and Cup double it'll be nice, but obviously I need you to calm us all down again, Matt.
Well, yeah, fingers crossed. We won't start thinking about doubles yet.
Let's talk about our other team that was in action this week, our PDRL team. In I think it was Alton Festival. They played Wigan Warriors, they played Wakefield, and they played Warrington. They beat Wigan 22 points to 12. Great victory for the team in the first festival, Matt.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, it's always it's always nice to beat Wigan, isn't it? Let's be honest. No matter who you're playing for. So yeah, that's great for them, and it's a great concept. You know what I mean? And it's getting bigger all the time, and I like this festival format that they're doing with it now. It's it's showcasing the actual sport, and it's really good, and they're enjoying it. And there's a lot of lads coming up from Wales. Craig Fisher's managed to get a few of the Wales PDRL lads coming up, and they're loving it as well. I mean, they're travelling like 8 hours round trips, 9 hours to come and play in a tournament, and it's great for everyone.
I'm going to give him a name check for that. I think it's Connor Rice, Ben Lewis, is it Tima Hughes, Morgan Jones, Rob Carpenter, and Matt Rowley. Parky, they're our Welsh contingent.
Well, but how many times have we mentioned on the podcast that our club's success has been built on the back of the Welsh, hasn't it? For over 100 years, it's just every time we've had a good team, it's been full of Welshmen, and no ladies in the future. Brilliant effort. That, I mean, that just shows that the love for the game and the credit to rugby league for its the way it just includes everybody. I don't think there's another sport like it. It shows that these people are willing to make that kind of sacrifice on their in their own time. Just come and play rugby. It's brilliant. And I don't know. I mean, that's a long way to come for a game of rugby, I'll be honest. But no, I'm full of praise for these guys as well. I mean, everything that's going on at the club's been unreal. But when I saw that at the weekend, we beat Wigan. It was the first game, and I was absolutely buzzing. Like Matt just said there, beating Wigan at anything's pretty good. But rugby league again, a bit like Hull. It's just rugby league, and that's what you get with them. But no, it's been fantastic. And this is another thing that's come again from absolutely nowhere in a short space of time. And the amount of time and effort that people have put in to get it to where it is. And the main thing is that it's fun. It's about fun. It's not the cut and thrust of Super League where this and that. It's about enjoying rugby league. And these guys clearly do. And then these Welsh lads making all that effort just shows how much fun it is.
Yeah, Salford's team was Timer Hughes, Jake Forbes, Lee Forbes, Morgan Jones, Stuart Newton, and James Waller. I think Jake Forbes. He impressed me against Lee. I think he was the guy that ran, I think 40 yards, but ran away from everybody. He's got wheels, that kid. Remember Atlee Parker?
Yeah, well, I remember you talking about him. Yeah, he shocked you, didn't he?
He did.
Bit.
He scored 2 tries. First one, I think we ran from like 40 metres, burnt the fullback, and then the second try went from like 50 metres, like a Matt in a fire, went through a gap and gone. Matt, you can't teach that.
No, it's good to see that. Morgan as well. Morgan Jones is if I'm not mistaken, is a former Commonwealth sprinter as well.
Right.
So yeah, he's not. He's either, you know what I mean. But it's great for the lads who are coming up. It's great for the local lads as well, and women. You know what I mean. It's fantastic. You know, let's not forget the local people who get involved as well. You know, and representing their own town, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, they also played Wakefield and Warrington, lost narrow to both. Warrington, I think, are the champions of the PDRL team. So, obviously, I think it was a close game. I think they lost 12-6, I think, Matt. So, obviously, shows, our first game, and we're mixing it with the best.
Yeah, well, world champs, aren't they?
Is that what it is?
They beat South Sydney, didn't they?
All right.
In their own patch as well. They went down there in 2018. So, yes. They are officially the world champions of PDRL rugby at the moment.
Talk about the PDRL team. Ben Lewis has been selected as the Welsh captain for the World Cup in 2022, and he just happened to have the Welsh assistant coach on the podcast this week. That's a coincidence, isn't it, Matt?
Isn't it? Fucking lad. You know, he's just a sportsman, you know, from judo when he was a kid to rugby union. He stopped playing for a couple of years. They started a team up just before COVID, then never got off the ground because of COVID. And then he come back and he's been playing for the last year or two. And he just loves it. And he's even done boxing. He's missing a limb and he's done boxing with a specially made glove. He didn't win. We did all right. He did a charity fight, and I think the hilarious story about Ben is he actually only applied for a ticket, but got it wrong and applied to fight.
Right.
And when he got accepted, he just went, "Oh, do you know what? I've done it now, and he did it, and he went for it, and he had a go, and it was. And but he's just you know what, you get to know him as a natural leader. You can see it on WhatsApp, you can see it in training. He's just a leader, and it was a no-brainer for who was going to captain that side, you know what I mean? And every now and again, if anyone's slacking, whether it be training, doing their own training or something, he'll come out with a rant on WhatsApp, and you know, when he talks, people listen, put it that way.
That's what good leaders are all about, isn't it, Parkin? What a story.
Yeah, phenomenal. You know, again, just shows what you can do, doesn't it? You know, certainly puts me to shame and all that. Sometimes I struggle just to get out of bed in the morning. What a guy! And captain in your country. What more? Doesn't get any better, does it? You know, it's what we all would have dreamt of us when I was growing up. So I thought one day I'll play for my country. And this, to captain your country, and I can't imagine it, to be honest with you. But no, he's brilliant. What he's done, what he's obviously capable of doing, and it's great to have him associated with our club. And again, I'll say it again, another Welshman.
Mm. Can you play for your country under 10s, Parker?
What's that, sorry?
So can you play for your country at under 10 level when you were at your peak?
No, county level.
In case you don't know, Matt, Parker was the elite for was it 5 years when you were in the juniors, Parker, was it?
Well, whatever.
Never lost a game.
Fantastic.
That's true. I did have good players. That was the difference.
Oh, he's going all Steph Curry on me now, Matt. So I played it down.
I definitely got. Yeah.
Go on, Matt.
Oh, just saying, yeah, all Steph Gray, all like, oh, everybody else, you know what I mean? She was very, apologetic of it all.
Played it down.
Yeah. It was that game when she come on this podcast, she was fantastic the game before. She did brilliant. She won game 4.
Yeah, Featherstone Lions away. Went 80 metres on the long way round, and I asked her about it. And she goes, "Yeah, just picked the ball up and just ran." I was like, "Yeah." The long way round, beat the cover, just played it down. So, yeah, wonderful player.
She's very humble, and you know what? Being humble is like a really massive quality as well, and you know you can't beat that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, let's talk about the other 2 games that happened this week. Parker, England All Stars victorious, and England beat the All Stars 18-4. 3 of our players were involved. Good times.
Yeah, good to have. Good for them lads. You know, certainly. I mean, probably more so for Cal than the other 2 in terms of what it means. You know, it'd be a fantastic story for Callum Watkins after, you know, the trip, his time in Australia didn't quite work out, and then his long-term injury issues. To get back into an England squad, and he could get in that squad to go to the World Cup. I mean, what a turnaround that'd be for him. And fully deserved. I mean, since he's come back from injury, he's been first class, hasn't he? I mean, change of position. Looks like he's played back row all his life. He's cut out for him in the build of the lad. He's an absolute athlete, and he's a beast of a guy. He's one of them you don't actually realise till you're close to him. You see him on the pitch, you just, you know, he's another player, but he's a unit, that lad. But yeah, no, it's good. But then to play centre for England, I found all a bit odd when he hasn't played there for his club for the best part of 12 months, if not longer. Is that a sign of how short England Rugby League is? I don't know, but no, it was great for him. And Brody was dangerous throughout the game, wasn't he? He caused them a lot of problems, and it just shows. I think Brody he likes being let off the leash, doesn't he? He's not the kind of player that wants to play within any kind of structure. I don't think. I think he's that'd be his game, and it's a shame he didn't have that Lino from Wakefield outside him, because I think that'd have been a really dangerous partnership. And would have caused England lots of problems, which they need, because obviously coming up to the World Cup, I mean, we play Samoa, which will be tough enough, but as you progress, we're going to play Tonga and the Kiwis, and obviously the Aussies, which is a terrifying thought. You know, you need these challenges. We don't play enough international rugby league, certainly not competitive wise. So I thought you know it was a useful hit out, but I just fear that. How many of that team that played on the weekend will actually be playing in the World Cup? Was it worth the time? I don't know. The concept itself seems a little bit flawed, because the exiles are combined nations as they are now. Not exactly the same for them, is it? In so many ways. But I thought our lads were good. Kenny Sale scored a belter, as you would expect, as he does. Picked up off his bootlaces. And went in the corner. Great finish. But I thought the game itself was a little bit below par. I don't think it was half as good as Sky made out. But no, we needed a hit out. You know, there's only so much we can do. Who else are we going to play? We're just going to play the French. You know, maybe one of the other home nations, but not. Without being too disrespectful, it's not that much contest, is it? You know, so. It's the only thing that we can do at the moment. And, so I think 1 or 2 players probably did the chances, you know, give them a bit of a boost. But it'd be interesting to see what that final squad will look like.
Obviously, as a coach, Matt, I mean, you're kind of picking a team and picking a squad. Is there kind of, when you're picking players who have played in a position all season in one position and then deciding to select them in a different position, how much of a risk do you think that is as a coach?
It's always a risk. I think with the England or Great Britain job, it's always been sort of an essential part of the job. They've always done it, haven't they? It's as if it's something like a clause in the contract.
Yeah.
Or we'll play Paul Sculthorpe at 6, or, you know, something like that. It's always been done. And I mean, to be fair with that the other day, yeah, Callum Watkins been playing second row for us, but, you know, we're going to have the NRL players have still got to come into that squad. Obviously, Herbie Farnworth is playing out of his skin at Brisbane. He's gonna make a massive claim for the centre spot in that final squad. Mark Percival obviously is gonna, you know, he'll be banging on the door, and, you know, like you say, you know, the concept, is it essential? Probably, to get a game together. Is it being bought into? I was there, crowd wise, no. You know what I mean? Not being bought into. I mean, apparently one of the parents of the kids team that I went with, they were saying apparently on the website it said it was sold out. and we were just wondering which row they were talking about because it far from sold out. You know what I mean? It was probably I don't know the crowd, but I'm guessing about 6,000. You know, so you know it's a good concept. It gets people a cap and it gets people looked at as well. So there's players there that probably may not, you know, previously have got an international cap that have got one now. I mean, the interesting one for me was the two hookers playing for the All Stars. Me personally, they're my two hookers for England. You know what I mean? No matter what you say, yeah, Mickey McIlroy might have all that aggression and go forward and whatever, you know, and he never takes a backward step. But to me, those two players, Darrell Clarke, Cruz Lehman, are your form nines, and they would be in any England squad that I picked. Days that they ended up playing against them.
Thoughts and feelings, Parker?
Yeah, no, I agree with it. It's funny because while the game was on, I was sort of compiling a list of players that are probably eligible to play for England in the World Cup. I think I got to about 45 that you would think have a chance of international. The trouble was, I think 6 of them were hookers. You know, obviously Robes won't be there, but he's still, for me, the best hooker in the league and probably one of the best players still in Super League. But he's obviously not going to want it. But now he's concentrating on another year of club rugby. But yeah, he is interested in the hooker situation. Definitely, I mean, Cruz Lehman, I think, has been a revelation for in a very average Leeds team, very average. He's a fantastic player. I think Clark's suffering because he's at Warrington. I think they've just, you know, the season they're having, I don't think it helps him. But definitely them two will be should be the two that start the games. Want to look around the rest of the team, like you say about the players coming back from Australia, and then what do you do with, you know, someone like Jake Connor if he's fit? Does he play? His attitude's terrible, but as a player, he's an absolute star. You know, there's a lot of things to think about for Shaun Wane in England, and who, you know, like I said, there's so many players that couldn't play the other day that will, and then you think, well, does he go if he stays? And it's probably a good problem to have, but at the same point, I'm not sure the Aussies are quaking. I'm really not.
We've got to get it right though, because we've got to pick that right squad. I mean, what's frightening about this World Cup is, you know, you'd imagine Samoa and Tonga are just going to wait an extra couple of days until some other squad has been picked. You know, and then it's like, right, so, you know, the Aussies and New Zealanders have picked their team now, so he's not picked, he's not been picked, we'll take them. You know what I mean? And it's frightening the kind of players that can get left out of, you know, what the Australia or New Zealand, one of the big two, and end up still playing in that World Cup and massively strengthening sides. Tonga are going to be up there again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think
Jerome Luai, Brian Toto, potentially, you know, and others. You know, it's frightening who could end up playing for him if they get left out by the Australians.
And so we're all hoping for a World Cup win for England then, with all this fantastic talent to knock off, Parker.
I you know, as much as we love it, I'd be very, 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 very surprised if we went on to win it, make the final potentially. But like Matty's just said there about Tonga, you look at that Tongan squad for this weekend for these Pacific games. That's terrifying on its own, and this is without, like you say, the ones that will miss out on the Kiwi squad and the Aussie teams. I don't know, but my fear is about international rugby at the moment, and I've always been a massive fan. I've always wanted to push for it to be bigger. Is the gap any closer now than it was when I watched my first international? You know, in about 19 whatever it was, I can't remember. 82 when the Aussies came over and destroyed us. Is the gap any closer now than it was then? I don't think it is. I really, not with them. With the others, yeah, it'll be, if you take Australia out of the whole thing, it'd be a magnificent World Cup, but I can't see past them, unfortunately.
Let's talk about the ladies international team, Parker. They won 36-10 against France. Great game, very entertaining. You know, it shows the quality that they've got in that team.
It was brilliant. We were talking off air, weren't we, earlier on about the skill levels of the girls at that level. I was going to ask Matt before, actually, and obviously without naming names or anything like that, but how far off are our girls or some of our girls to that level? You know what I mean? Because I watched that the other day, and that was, some of them girls were terrifying. They were that good. The speed they played at and the skill levels, the game has advanced so much further. I'm thinking we've got to get to that level, but how far away are we from that?
Not far away, because like you said off air, the game 3 or 4 years ago wasn't what it is now. And these players are still the same players that were playing back then. So they've improved, right? So there's nothing to stop ours from improving and getting to that level. The one thing, like me, myself, and every other coach, we've all bought into it, is we're trying to get the players to play properly, and and not just play one out rugby. We want block plays. We want little moves. We want missed passes and this, that, and the other. That's what Saints do that other teams are slowly starting to catch up on now, and we've gone on to Saints. It's England. It's the majority. They are a lot of the Saints girls are the England team, and then you get to throw the best of York and Leeds in there as well, and a couple of others are breaking through, and it's exciting times. But again, Australia, New Zealand, different class.
And I think obviously the profile of the women's game's grown, fantastic. Amy Hardcastle, Jodie Cunningham, kind of like getting near kind of household names. Now people kind of know the names now and know what they do, Matt. So that's a positive step forward with the World Cup coming up.
Yeah, I mean, every day last week or for a couple of weeks before, I'm driving home from work every night, and I'll pull up at the lights near halfway home and look up, and there's a picture of Sam Tompkins and Emily Rudge.
Yeah.
And Emily Rudge went to school half a mile away from there. Right. Warrington girl, and there she is, up in lights on billboards in Warrington. It's fantastic, England captain. It's great to see, and they're really getting the exposure that they deserve and that they've worked hard for. And it's a credit to them, and it's as I say, it's well deserved, the hard work that they've put in and the effort.
Do you think the ladies have more of a chance to win the World Cup than the men do?
More of a chance. Equal. I mean, you've got the Aussies, you've got the New Zealanders, and like the same with Tonga with the men. You've got Papua New Guinea, who are no mugs in the women's game. You know what I mean? They'll let your mum, they'll let your grandma as well at the same time. They can hit 3 generations. I'm telling you, it's so yeah, it's just going to be tough for them all. But do you know what? I mean, you've got Brazil in the World Cup. What are they going to do? Who knows anything about them? What are they going to be, an unknown? And are they going to come in? Are they going to be like easily beaten? Are they going to come in and shock everyone? Who knows? They're going to be completely unknown. You know what I mean? Whoever's going to come up against them is not going to know what's going on. So, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if, I'd love to see, but the World Cup stay up here, but I won't be surprised if they both go to Australia, to be fair.
Okay, just before we obviously sort of finish talking about the reserves, we've got a little game. We've created a game talking about the internationals. Salford players in our club that have represented their country are a representative team in the last 2 years and up to World Cup / touring parties for this year. So it can be anybody, it can be man, woman, sort of academy, foundation, things like that, development academy, and everyone like that, PDRL, and the whole shebang, everybody. So do we understand the rules? So basically what we're going to do is, I'm going to start with you, Parker. You're going to give me a name, and then Matt's going to give me a name. And what we're going to do, we're going to keep going until one drops off.
Oh, I love it.
Right.
Do we understand the rules?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've got 22, right? And we'll do the Danny Barton rule of I only know what I know. So if there's more, and you come up with somebody I don't have on my list, and they do represent I've represented the country the last 2 years, then it's wrong. Don't at me if you're listening and you think I've represented my country. Why am I not on this list? Because I can only go for what I know. Okay. So Parker, first name, please.
Cal Watkins.
Callum Watkins, correct. Matt?
Ken Seal.
Ken Seal, correct. Parker?
Paulie.
Don't play for us anymore, though.
I thought he said in the last 2 years, didn't you? I thought he meant players from the last.
All right, we'll go with that. Paulie then. I'll add him to my list. Right, Matt.
So it's more without.
Morgan Escaray.
Correct. Parker.
Reece Williams.
Correct. Matt.
Do you know what? Alex Simpson.
Correct. Great Britain's teacher, international. Parker.
Brodie Croft.
Brodie Croft. Correct. Matt.
Ryan Brierley.
Ryan Riley. Scottish fullback. Correct. Parker.
Danny Addy.
Correct. Scottish second row. Matt.
Greg Burke.
Greg Burke. Correct. Parker.
Sam Luckley.
Sam Luckley. Correct. Matt.
Hang on.
No pressure, Matt, but you can't lose this.
I'm trying not to go to the PDRL ones yet.
Yeah, straight away.
Here's one for you. Josh Wagstaff.
Josh Wagstaff.
England
He plays for, is he Welsh?
No, it's England Community
English,
Lines.
sorry. Yeah. Is he touring Italy? Remember rightly?
I didn't do that much homework.
I think he did. I think I did. Parker.
I don't know.
Oh.
Struggling here. So plays for us now?
Yeah. Yeah. Plays for us now. If played internationally in the last 2 years or are going on tour / World Cup / European Championships at the end of the year. There's a few that we've mentioned on the podcast most weeks.
I don't know. Because I've gone, I started thinking back to players that had played and had moved on in the last couple of years.
Yeah, them as well.
Do you want to jump in here, Matt?
I don't know.
Well, I'll take a chance, right? On the rules that you let him have Paulie.
Yeah.
Can I have Deck Patton?
Yeah, go on.
All right. Okay. Wait. Well, okay. Ed Chamberlain.
Yeah, Ireland. Yeah.
Ooh. Harvey
Levert. Well, I think he's not played for England Knights. I think it's 2018.
It was 2019, but he gave me Deck Patton. It was the same team.
All right, go with that then. All right. Parker.
I don't think he wasn't with us then. Was he? He'd gone. I was. No, I can't have that. That's very wrong. Wow. Tyke McCarthy.
Yeah, Ireland. Give you that one. Matt.
Oof. I'm gonna have to go nasty again. Miles Paul.
Yeah. Yeah.
England.
Correct. Got that one. That's on my list. Okay.
Getting tough, this, isn't it?
It is.
I can't have him either because that's not fair. That's just cheating. I mean, I would.
If you want to see the 8 I've got.
I'd say. Was he with us then? Gil Dudson. When did he leave? 2020.
2019 he left.
2019.
Nice. Can't give it that one. Are you out, Parker?
Well, I don't know when he played for his country and whether he was with us. I'm sure he was. It was Ollie Roberts, even though he was only on loan.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. Go on, Matt.
All right.
One.
While we're playing that technicality rule, Elliot Kerr.
Elliot Kerr.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Any more, Parker?
Not from the last. Not this. No. I mean,
okay.
No.
So, Matt, do you want to go through your list and I'll see if I've got them on my list?
Right. All right. So you might not let me have some of these because it might not be 2 years. I was going with Tim Laffey, Samoa.
Yeah, I will give you Tam Lafai because he was going to play for the All Stars but got pulled from the squad for suspension. So I'll give you it on the technicality.
I had Serena Tamu, England Community Life.
Correct, got that one.
Vanessa Adley, GB Teachers.
Oh, didn't know that one. Vanessa Hadler.
Okay, that's a good one.
Didn't mention that. The first lady I've interviewed, but the beginning of the season, never mentioned it.
And taking 20 out because it didn't exist.
Right. Vanessa Hadler.
Rogan Edwards is a county rugby union captain.
Yeah, I thought county's not international. It is. Brody. Yeah, go on. Give me that one.
Charlie Glover, Wales under-17s.
Who was it?
Charlie Glover is in the academy.
Charlie Glover. Yeah, so I've got that one. Yeah, go on.
I'm being horrible now. I'm betting Morgan Jones, Tyler Hughes, Ben Lewis, Connor Rice, Stuart Newton, Rob Carpenter, Matt Rowley, and Justin Martin.
Yeah, Rob Carpenter, Matt Rowley. Is it Leaf Toboe?
Leaf Throwbro as well.
Yeah, Ellis Thomas. Right, so we've got Lafai. I've got Nathan Taylor playing for England students in Ireland at the moment. Plays for the reserves.
That's the one I was looking for.
Got him.
Couldn't find any social media.
Yeah, him. And I've got Olivia Meyer, played for England students 2020.
She did live. Oh, you've got one of mine. Can't believe it. I had Liv and bent it for Lancashire as well, but I thought it was about 6 years ago, something like that.
It's amazing.
I have that one.
It's amazing, isn't it? Obviously, so many sort of players in our club, Parky, that playing at the highest level in recent times.
It is really, especially. I mean, it's more encouraging that the from the academy or from the women's team, that sort of thing. It is tough, to get international golf at any level, massively so. But yeah, it just shows what talent there is at the club at the moment, and more to come. Like, I know I've said it a few times, and I don't want to bore everyone, but that whole thing with the Welsh sort of progression that's come on, the lads that we signed up not long ago and things like that. We're looking for talent in areas that maybe other people are missing, and then they can go and represent their country and make their country stronger. And that, that's how this game is going to grow, and that's how the international game is going to grow. So it's just full credit for people who are finding these players and bringing them to the club and giving them a chance.
And obviously, Matt, you're hands-on in this situation. Obviously, you must be so proud when you get to see sort of one of your sort of ladies or lads go through to sort of the international scene.
Yeah, I mean, Lucy McKeown trained the week. I don't think at the moment she's got into the squad. I'm not overly sure, but just for her to be recognised at this really early stage in her rugby league career, she's only, she played her first game rugby league in February. You know what I mean? So for her to be even being looked at on an international scene at the moment is absolutely fantastic. A credit to her and a credit to how she's been playing.
Yeah.
She will without doubt represent Ireland. It's gonna happen. It's just a case of when, but it will happen.
I thought it was a gimme, but I couldn't put her in because she's only trialled.
Yeah. No, it couldn't. I didn't have that one.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's been fantastic. Great to have you on, Matt. Giving us insight into the ladies team and everything that we've talked about. Been an absolute joy, and cracked some good jokes as well.
Oh, thank you very much. I really enjoyed it. It's been a pleasure.
Brilliant. So, Parker, the reserves were beaten against Wigan. They lost 44 points to 10, Parker, but obviously Wigan had a very good side, and it's one of them. It's all about development for them lads.
Yeah, I mean, the Wigan sort of squad that they can pick from is probably 200 lads long, isn't it? Let's be honest. Every kid in Wigan wants to play for Wigan, and they all want to play rugby league. It's always going to be tough. I mean, obviously a lot of what goes on at Salford recently. Well, with the teams has surprised me, and caught me out. But I mean, that would be a big surprise. But again, it's just about learning, isn't it? Playing against, potentially better players. But Wigan the thing is that a lot of them players will have played together at other levels for other teams, before they've got this far. Whereas our lads are probably, drafted in from all over the north, really, just, and obviously our local lads. And they've got to learn to play together. It does take time. But it's not a bad result, is it? I know I've seen Salford get plenty of more pastings off Wigan teams than that. So, it's just the effort's clearly there, and they are learning as they go along.
Yeah, so that's all the match reports this week, and now we'll look at what's happening in the world of Salford Red Devils. So this week, Parquet Festival Rugby League at the AJ Bell. The LDRL side are involved in a festival from 12:30 where Salford, Wigan, Wakefield and Leigh all play off against each other. Then Salford face Wakefield at 3 o'clock. And then in the after game, it's the Academy War Roses, Lancashire and Yorkshire. So a feast of rugby league throughout the day.
Yeah, fantastic. Full day of it. Hopefully the weather holds. That'd be great. I think it's supposed to be okay-ish on Sunday. So that should bring a few bodies out, but it's brilliant. This is what we've been saying for ages about, hopefully getting the ladies there as well, for their games. Let's make a day of it. Teams that, while we've been at the AJ Bell, a lot of the time it's just been about you turn up, you watch the first team, you go home, and that's it. This gives you a full day. I mean, you get there, like say, get there for 12, half 12. You start watching the festival. See what goes on there. I'm sure there'll be some good rugby, but a lot of fun to be had. There'll be other things going on. Then you've got the first team game, and you don't have to just rush off and that's it. You don't see everyone for another week or a fortnight or whatever. Stay behind and watch the Origin, and let's be honest, that'll be tasty. That'll be really tasty. And I think is this like the second Origin game or something between this year? I think Lancashire won the first one, so fingers crossed we can carry that on. But no, a great day. It's like I say, the weather's good. Perfect day for rugby league. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'm planning on getting down there really to watch the festival first.
Yeah, the club are looking for musicians to help with the pre-match entertainment. Parquet, if you're obviously interested in your musician or have a band and want to sort of play pre-match at the game, you need to contact the club at inquiries@salforddevils.net and get yourselves sort of involved. I think it's great, obviously, opportunity for local talent to be platformed, really, because you don't get to play in front of 500,000 people. Well, not 500,000, 500 to 1,000 people in the in the tent. It's not Wembley, but it'd be a massive opportunity for somebody. And I think if they do become successful, I think it's so important that the club invest in them, because obviously you can get sort of people who want that opportunity, but you both need to meet halfway. So hopefully you'll get somebody with a bit of talent who can play a bit, has a bit of charisma, who can entertain a crowd, and the club will meet them halfway and turn them into a pre-show, which will get everyone in the mood for the game.
Yeah, I was thinking that 500,000, Paul Keane would be happy, wouldn't he? He'd be delighted with that one. I've thought this for years. I mean, we've got the university. I know it's probably a bad time of the year. I don't know times and terms at the moment, but a lot of bands come through that way, or acts, don't they? And it's a good way if we're connected with the university to get bands in, or even the local schools and stuff like that. These kids, starting up their own bands and anything. So it's a good little sort of step up and a chance to get out. I won't be throwing my hat in the ring because I'm not sure grade 3 violin would be out for anybody, but good. Keep it coming. I know they tried a few years ago, didn't they? Got a few bands down there, and we might find the next Beatles.
That's what it's all about. That's whatever brings them in, Parky. That's all I'm. I think it's important, obviously, because it's sometimes for families. It's not always about the actual match. It's about the whole day in it and the whole entertainment. So I think if you get the right sort of people in that area, then it makes a big difference.
Well, absolutely. Different strokes for different folks, isn't it? I mean, some people will just go. I mean, for me personally, is the old boring fuddy-duddy I am. If I go and watch the match and come home, then I'm happy. Well, probably not. The results go the wrong way, but you're talking from all ages, from kids up to grandparents who will all be looking for different things out of a day out. The main focus is that game of rugby for 80 minutes, but what goes on around it, entertainment, good to cater for everybody, and it is hard to do, and it all costs money, doesn't it? But we need to do that. We need to make the AJ Bell or wherever else we're going to play now or in the future. Make it a venue, make it an event every time there's a game on, not just come down here, sit in a cold stand and watch 80 minutes of rugby and go home. Let's bring it all together. We were lucky at the Willows. We had that, didn't we? You could all meet up in the club and whatever else. You did have music on, or you go downstairs to the vault. Just offered up different things. And we've lost a lot of that. I know the club are trying. They can't do too much. It's like I say, it all costs money, and there's not a lot of that going about for anybody at the moment. But and this Sunday's a start for that for me to get people there long term for a day, rather than just a couple of hours.
Yeah, club's got more Magic Weekend tickets. Obviously sold the first allocations. That's promising, Parker.
Yeah, unless the first allocation 25 tickets. Yeah, I must admit, I've not got mine. I'm not 100% where I'm going to be at that point. Fortunately, whether I'll be making it, I'm a bit like that. I hope I do. I mean, I do like Newcastle. It's a fantastic day out or weekend. It's a great city, and obviously you throw in the match as well, which should be a tasty one as ever. But yeah, no, good news. Good news. At least we are shifting tickets, and hopefully I'll be picking one up. But we'll see. But yeah, no, good to hear.
Yeah, some players have been touring our amateur sides this week. Parker, Cadized, and other clubs I can't think of right now. I think Greg Burke went. And other various Salford players, so that's great. Obviously, feeding into the academy and building that community feel.
Yeah, people Greg Burke's a great character, really good. He's a funny guy anyway, but he's probably the right kind of person to go out and meet, kids or anyone who plays the game. He's got vast amounts of experience as well. That if someone wants to ask him a question about how things work at that level, he'd be a great person to ask. But the club, you can't ask more than that. The clubs have done this for 2 years now, sending players out to amateur clubs, and more so this year. Obviously, without COVID and everything else, making it a little bit easier. But it is great. We have to keep staying in contact. We are a community club at the end of the day, and without the buy-in of amateur clubs, we've got very little chance of progressing the club anywhere, have we? If there's no uptake from the guys who play it for fun, what else are you going to do to get somebody out in the living room who watches Coronation Street every night? We have to engage, and we're doing it right. And some of our players are brilliant. Like I said a few weeks ago, I think down at Folly, Chris Atkin was down there, and he's another great one. He got involved, and it appeared to some people that he didn't want to leave. He didn't want to go. Do you know what I mean? He's got a newborn now, hasn't he? So that was before that. But at the same point, he has got other pressing issues. But he wanted to be involved, and that's great. And as long as the players buy in, they don't see it as an obligation, and actually get stuck in and enjoy it. It's brilliant. You can't fault the club for it.
Yeah, if he's out training, you don't have to change nappies, Parker. We've all been there. If I have to do podcasts, that's my excuse. Don't tell the wife.
She's like,
talking about doing it properly. Let's do it properly. Greg Burke and Dan Sargent went to West Orton Lions, and Brodie Croft and James Green went to Langley the Reds. So that's fantastic. Obviously, the club invested in the youth and the future there. Talk about the future, Parker. Final bit of news: 9 of our local schools represented the club in the championship finals in the last week, which is fantastic. Obviously, they had the round robin school competition, and where obviously all the schools got together. And yeah, nine of our local schools played for us and did a good job.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about that. I've not heard about this.
Yeah.
Absolutely no knowledge.
Yeah, girls and boys. BTH, the school BTH, year 7 and year 8 girls, they got to the final. Boys, year 7 and 8, Wilmslow High, St Ambrose Barlow, St Joseph's in Bolton. Is it Wellacre in Trafford, Karen Slade in Bolton, and BTH. For lads year 8, so it's great. Obviously, a lot of schools there, a lot of kids, wearing the club's badge with pride.
It's good. When you said like sort of local schools, I mean they're spread about a bit, them aren't they?
Right.
Trafford, all over the place there. That again just shows the outreach that comes from the club and the work that goes on unknown behind the scenes. Again, to get the engagement from these schools. Not traditional rugby league areas, and representing us. It's really good. I like saying anything about that. I feel a bit. What's the word? I don't know. But I'm not happy I didn't know that. But that's brilliant. No, it's good. It's good to see, especially at this time of the year when there's plenty of other stuff going on.
Yeah. So if you obviously want your school to be involved in the next sort of next season's competitions and things like that, if you want to contact Kevin.Rayner@salfordcc.ac.uk and obviously contact him and get involved in that. So that's all the news. Now, I forgot about Tim Laffey signing his one-year extension in the news.
Oh.
Had one of us is switched on.
Oh, brilliant. And before we can, I mentioned at the start here when you asked me about him and I said what kind of player he was. He's better than even I thought. And I was singing his praises then. But what he's offered us, I was worried he was going to get poached. Thought he'd be another one going because he's been that good times. But yeah, no, brilliant. That's great news for us. That's something we don't have to worry about now. And got a good experienced player.
He's silky and he's solid. That's what it is.
Yeah, very much so. Very much.
In this week's podcast parking, another great show.
Yeah, I enjoyed having Matt on. I think it was really good. Another one that we've had now, and you just see what's going on behind the scenes, and when you talk to these people, you feel a passion that they've got, not just for our team, but for the game. It makes a big difference. I've been a Salford fan for all my life, and the amount of times you've seen people connected with the club who just think, it's just a job. It's different now. It does feel different. We're getting the right people in the right places. If we could just have a Euro lottery winner, and make life a lot easier for everybody. I think the club's in a great place. Just got to worry about that first team at the moment because everything else seems to be looking after itself. All the people who staff at the club, the volunteers who help out, and everything. Hopefully we can look forward to chatting to a few more of them in the coming months.
Yeah, big thank you to this week's Devil Detail podcast. I'm Rob Harrison. You can find us on Facebook, Devil in the Detail SRD. You can find us on Twitter @DITDSRD. And you can find us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Radio Contact, Spotify, and YouTube. See you soon.